December 2009, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Professor John Hill is in his yard when he notices a man pulling his car onto the grass of one of the properties Hill owns across the street.
He pulled into the property very recklessly, and so I made a move to him to not do that.
The man is Frank Parker, the father of one of Professor Hill's tenants. In the past, Professor Hill has repeatedly asked him not to park on the lawn, and he was met with a few unkind words. But today, Parker reacts in a way Professor Hill could never have expected.
He became very irate and very hostile towards me, began to approach me with profane language. I was very, very afraid. This guy is a pretty big guy, and I definitely didn't want any physical confrontation, and so I began to get back from him.
But it's too late. Parker, enraged, jumps into his car and heads straight for Professor Hill's yard.
When I saw him entering into the gate with that tremendous speed, doing the donuts or the 360s in the yard, I said, I need to get out of here because he could very well come over and just crush me where I'm standing.
Professor Hill runs for his life. He takes off down the street. But to his horror, Parker is right on his heels.
He came out of the 360, came out of the driveway, and began to follow and pursue me to run me down.
Marvis Mohorn is just leaving his mother-in-law's house when he witnesses the terrifying scene.
He was running from the car, and he got between the tree and the sidewalk, and the car was coming behind him, and I said, don't run over him, don't run over him.
I was running down the sidewalk to try to avoid the car and the impact. I thought I could make that by running to the telegraph pole to protect me. When I looked back, that's when I began falling. I said to myself, oh Lord, why am I falling? Please don't let me fall.
With Professor Hill on the ground, Parker steamrolls right over him. It's all caught on a store security camera.
When he ran over him, I was shocked. And I said, oh Lord, is this some movies or what? Because I never seen nothing like that.
I remember the immediate onset of the impact of the bumper. My head lifted because I was trying to raise up to probably move and get up and run again. And after the bumper hit my temporal area here on the side, I became unconscious, and I don't remember after that.
After running over Professor Hill, Parker gets out of his car and begins swinging at a bystander who witnessed the crime.
I seen when he shut the car off and he hit some little boy was in front of the car. He hit him, and then he ran in the store.
But he's not in the store for long.
And that's when all the guys came out. They was jumping on him and everything. The guys was hitting him because of what he had did. He ran over Mr. Hill. And they know him and everything, so that's the reason why they was fighting.
With Parker subdued, the crowd quickly turns their attention to Professor Hill, who is still trapped under the car.
And then my wife ran up there, looked under the car, and said he's breathing.
Police officer Paul Brown is heading back to the station when someone in the crowd flags him down.
Then a citizen came over to me and said, Officer, there's a gentleman under the car. So I looked under the car, and there was Mr. Hill lying face down under the car. Now, based upon what I saw, I knew he was in great pain.
Trapped beneath the car, Professor Hill is in dire need of help. With little time to waste and no paramedics at the scene, the crowd begins to lift the car off of him.
So I said, we can lift the car up. And the officer said, you think you can lift it? I said, we can try. And I grabbed it like that, and then I yelled and told some of the guys to come over and give me a hand.
A group of volunteers surrounds the car and summons all of their strength.
So I said, on the count of 3, you guys gonna lift and I'm gonna pull. So on the count of 3, they lift.
All of us just lifted up, and it felt easy then because there was so many of us lift the car up. We tipped the car just like that right there. And we let him held the car under there until the officer pulled him from up underneath. I don't know where I get that strength from, but we got it up off of him. Then after we got him from up underneath, I told everybody to let the car down real easy, and we laid it down easy.
When he came out, I did not want to move him much because I don't know what kind of injuries he sustained. I did not want to aggravate those injuries. So I kind of let him stay still and just reassure him that help is on its way.
Less than 2 minutes later, paramedics arrive on the scene.
My ear was severed from my scalp due to the impact on the sidewalk, and all of the cartilage has been wasted away, and now it's all sutured to my scalp. I have stainless steel screws, approximately 8 stainless steel screws holding my pelvis together where it was pulled apart and dislocated from the impact. Very painful injury, and as of now I have some hearing problems.
Professor Hill undergoes 5 surgeries and is confined to a wheelchair for 12 weeks, but he considers himself extremely lucky to be alive.
I feel blessed. That's the term I would like to use. And I feel that there is purpose as to why I'm still alive. I truly believe that.
Parker is arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder. He pleads not guilty. He's in jail at the North Broward Bureau awaiting trial. Despite experiencing the worst in human nature on that day, Professor Hill knows he also experienced the best. The kindness and strength of strangers saved his life.
It shows me that there's true mankind still in existence, and people still are good. All of us